Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? I hope you are having a wonderful start to your week. I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it. I did not post a video on Friday as I was leaving town to go to my sister's wedding at the time. It was a wonderful wedding, beautiful ceremony. Uh, Happy I got to go and see her kind of grow up a little bit more. It was kind of crazy. But Friday, all we did on Friday was kind of bring the market into a balance as we took out the higher day from Thursday, which put the market from going down on the daily to balance. So initially, you call it a 2-day balance using Friday's high and Thursday's low. So that was what we kind of went out with on Friday. Was just kind of like the high day, and then the low of day. Was nothing else to really lean on. And then we come in today on Monday, and we open up. Let me go ahead and get you guys zoomified here. We open up basically inside that range for the good majority of the day. So if I'll just show you the right hand side of my screen here, you can see we're clearly inside that high day from the second, right at 38.0550, right where the single prints start, and then where they fill at 38.0850. So for good majority of the day, we were in previous day's range or Friday's range, just kind of chopping around. There wasn't a whole lot for us to lean on. I think there was a bond auction that came out sometime early in the day, but we didn't do anything but chop for a majority of the day. I mean, A, B, C, D. I mean, we never took out the initial balance for the good majority of the day. Let me kind of, yep, before GA period. So the good majority of the day was looking like this right here. If you just focus on the right hand side, uh, just a whole lot of chop. You know, the initial balance high, initial balance low, right? That's A and B. That's the first two time frames. So in A period, you would use its low, and then you would use B period's high. We never took out the initial balance for majority of the day. Nobody had control over the opening as we chopped back and forth through it, and we eventually create a 9 wide POC. All right, we create a decent 9 wide POC, and finally in J period, people I guess were shorting weren't getting paid, so they decided to get out of their positions, and then longs kind of started to hop on the train, and then we finally took out the high of day and the initial balance high. Got our initial balance high, got the overnight high, so bulls started getting things in their favor finally. Value went from unchanged to overlapping to higher. So after J period, got the overnight high, took out the initial balance high, one time frame and up, and then we have value overlapping the higher. Buyers all of a sudden had a lot of things in their favor. And then we kind of create a set of single prints. So we took out our initial balance high from today. We push higher. We take out the high day from Friday. So the daily, um, I'm gonna say it's gone from balance to up because we went to balance because we were one time framing down, right? Uh, Pretty much Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday put us back into a balance. And then today we took out that balance high by taking out the Friday's high day. So we take out that high day. I'm gonna call it balance to up. If we open up inside tomorrow inside today's range, then I'll just say we stretch the balance and we'll continue to be in balance. But for now, we're gonna say balance to up, meaning we have a good possibility to trend up to this 12 wide POC. But let me continue. So in J period, we take out the high, our initial balance high, the overnight high. We get that high of day, and then we kind of just ram right through where the single prints fill at 38.0850. Above us, we also have the 50-day moving average right around 38.12. So 38.12, we have the 50-day moving average, and we started battling that for a little bit in J and in K period. Um, and then LM, not a whole lot going on. Just kind of a grind up. I got caught up in this a little bit. I, I took some pretty bad trades as far as risk reward, and then just I had FOMO, fear of missing out. It was a grindy kind of price action, a lot of chop, not wide ranges. Like I mean, all day long the ranges were not very wide at all. Volume was been pretty low, so when I got into these trades up here, it was kind of I was buying at the high, hoping, and when you start to hope, things kind of go out the window. But I started buying at highs, hoping, for a quick push up, quick pop, and we never got that, and it just kind of slowly grinded me out of the position, and I ended up, there goes the closing bell. I ended up closing the day out with about a 10-point loss on one, um about a 10-point loss on one of my accounts, and then a 5-point gain on another. So overall net was probably about a $250 loss on the day. But let me continue to review the day, and then I'll get into my trades. So, like I said, we created a 9 wide POC. J pushes up, take out the initial balance high, takes out that high day single print fill. We fill those set of single prints. So now in J period, we have a we have created a set of single prints, right? K's low to B's high. From 3800 to 380825, we've now created a set of single prints. So right in here, let's go ahead and mark that. 380825. Single prints. Single print start, right? And then they fill at 3800. Single print fill 1107. And then we actually had so once Jay created that set of single prints, we then at this point have a double distribution. You can kind of see that on the volume, right? This whole section right here from B's high to A's low, that's all one distribution. And then from K's low to M's high is one distribution. We attempted to have a triple distribution in L period once M opened up, right? We had a small set of single prints initially in L period. Those got filled, so we only go out with a double distribution of B's high to the day's low, and then from K's low to the day's high. So that's all going to be two separate days is what we'll treat it as. You can look to take a long against this tomorrow, and then if you find your way into these single prints, you could look to short to maybe come down to this 9 wide POC, and then to the low of day. If you open up and you take out today's high, then you'll go and get that 12 wide POC from the second at 38.4350. Really good odds of getting that, in my opinion, if we open up above today's high. Now let's go over my trades real quick. So initially, early on in the day, I didn't know what the market wanted to do, so I just kind of decided I'm not going to place a trade until market generated information became more clear. And then about C period, I decided, all right, it's a whole lot of chop. I'm going to go to the gym and then kind of get some errands ran. So I went to the gym, grocery store. I didn't make it back to the screen until right around H. And I've seen that it's been pretty rotational all day long, right? We've been rotational all day long. A, B, C, D, E, just kind of up and down, fading the edges was the trade at the time. So I decided, hey, an I period, let's see what happens in I period. I opens up, we kind of push up against the open, and H is high, so I decided to get short. I was short at 90.50, and I got out for a 2.5 point gain at 88 even. So we pulled back, and my goal was to kind of just take the short, fade the edge to get a rotation back down into the POC, which was at the time at F's high. So I was thinking, all right, we get a pull back into 88. I'll get out because that's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for us to go and take out the day's low. I'm just looking to fade the edge to get back to that point of control or, you know, kind of mean reversion trade there. Uh, we were non-wide at the time, so I felt like it was really good odd that we will be pretty rotational. And then when J opened up, I decided to take a short again because once again, fading the edge all day long had been working. We've been rotational. We've come back to POC, revisited POC, and I was looking just to do the same thing I did in high period, right? Get short, look for it to roll over, get to nine, get 10 wide at the POC now instead of 9, get 10 wide at POC, and then take off the trade. Well, that didn't happen because Jay decided to pop the high day, and I got stopped out. Uh, and I went long shortly after that because I felt all right. We just ran all these stops in the H or I, H, E, and B. We took out the IB high. Let's go get the overnight high, and then maybe get into those single prints, right, that I was talking about. So at I got long at 0350. So as soon as we took out the initial balance high, I got stopped out of my short position, flipped long, and then at 3803.50 is where I got long, and then I exited my trade at 3808.50. And then once we pushed up a little bit higher in J period, I decided, all right, the 50 is right above us. You can kind of see that here on the chart. We had the 50 above. Oop, that doesn't look good. Come on, mouse work. But yeah, you had the 50 right there, that purple little line there. That's the 50, and at the time it was at 38.12. So I, thought good odd, maybe. We've been rotational all day. Maybe this was just a stop run. Let me get short against the 50 and see if we come back in. Um, so I got short at around 12, and then I had my stop above at 12.50. I was looking for a bit of a backfill, maybe if K opened up, because this was later in J period. Maybe K opens up, does a backfill, fills the single prints, and then we bounce back up. That's kind of what I was looking for. We never really got that, so I stopped out of that trade for break even. I decided to get short again in K period. Got out of that trade for break even. And then I decided to get long in K period uh, to take out J's high. So I was long 12.75 and 13 as we were above the 50 at that point. And I was like, all right, maybe we got a little bit more energy to the upside. We popped up, and I was looking maybe for K to push up a little bit higher, kind of like L and M did. But we didn't get that. And when we started to come back in a little bit, I got out of the trade at 15.25. So two and a quarter point gain on that. And then I set back, didn't do anything in L period. And then in M period, I decided finally, all right, because at the time we had a triple distribution, in L period. I was like, let me get long, because realistically, nothing is above us until that 12 wide POC at 38.43.50. There, maybe we have a good chance of going and getting that. But it turned out I was wrong because I was long around. I don't remember. Where was I long? I was long at 1950, so not too far from the high. Um, I got long, had FOMO, was kind of like I said, hoping for this thing to pop up real quick for me to get a couple points out of it. It didn't. We pulled back and then we kind of just grinded and chopped for the rest of M period. And I eventually stopped out of my trade for a decent loss, which put me down 10.5 points on the day. It's not what you want to do, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want to catch a FOMO trade or fear of missing out trade. I was kind of afraid that I wasn't going to, because I hadn't done much all day long, right? Um, and I didn't want to not make money on the day, and instead I ended up losing on the day because I had fear that I was going to miss out on a big move up to that 12 wide puck. And sometimes in M period it does move in a really quick fashion, but I need to keep that in mind. that it's not always going to work. And I was trying to be more right than to take the more probable trade. And I need to keep that in mind going forward. And anybody that is trading out there, keep that in mind. Don't buy at the highs. Just kind of wait to see what happens when we pull back, if we find any support. And there were actually a couple really good longs that you could have taken on the pullback and in period, as we did kind of chop. And the range wasn't massive, but you could have scalped out, maybe a point or 2 points. Um, but yeah, that was my day. I didn't end it too hot, but we get to come in tomorrow and do it again. That's the beauty of the market. And hopefully tomorrow I come in and be a little bit more patient. Wait for MGI to kind of tell me what to do and then follow it. And I want to make sure I uh, don't have any FOMO. Follow the MGI. See what the more probable trade is. So let's go over destinations and then we'll review the larger time frames. So as far as destinations go, like I said, if tomorrow we open up inside our range of today, then I'm kind of expecting a little bit of chop. And then I wouldn't call the daily balance to up. I would call it just pure balance. We'd be in a 3-day balance, and I'll say that we stretched the balance just a little bit. But if tomorrow we open up in this upper distribution and then take out the day's high, the daily will be one time framing up at that point, clearly. And then we will go and get that 12 wide pocket, 38.43.50, and then there's nothing until the high of day at 39.07. And then above that, high day at 39.24.25. So upside destinations, today's high, 38.21.75, 38.43.50, 39.07. Those are the upside destinations. Downside destinations, if we open up in this upper distribution, then you might have a good odd. And if we fill the single prints, right? Take out the single print here, fill it, then you will go and trade at that non-wide POC and then potentially at the day's low, and then back test of the 20-day moving average. And at that point, we will be below the 50 again. So keep that in mind. But as far as downside destinations go, 38.08.25 single print start, they fill at 3800. And then from there, 37.88.75 9 wide POC from today, and then 37.71.25 low of day not from today. And then after that, there's nothing. A big vacuum to the 20-day moving average, and then you don't have anything below until 37.04.25. So pretty large range that we're playing in. We've been tightening up a little bit the last couple of days as far as range goes, but um, yeah, let's look at the larger time frames. See if they're giving us anything more. Not really, but I'll kind of explain it. Monthly. Let's go over a monthly here. Come on, mouse, work. All right, so let's look at the monthly. Monthly, remember we're in a balance. We took out last month's high, so that put us in a 3-month balance. So this large balance, or this, oh, why is my mouse not wanting to work today? This large area here is our balance zone on the monthly. So this large highlighted area is the balance area. So we're in a 3-month balance. The weekly, the weekly is in a balance. I'm gonna include this whole section here. One big balance. Can you uh can you say it's a little bit smaller and only use, this high and this low? Yeah, you can. You can do that. Nothing wrong with it. It's all subjective. As Paul says, it's an art, not a science. But for me, I'm calling this whole section here, one large balance, right? That's how I'm looking at it. So weekly is in a balance. And then daily, may have just stretched our 2-day balance by a little bit, but for now we're going to call it balance to up. And if you look at something here, look at our daily balance from last week, we're kind of bumping our head into that balance low area, right? So we might be finding some supply here at this 38.1650 area. Um, so keep that in mind. Bumping our head into here. We're above the 50 for one day today. Maybe tomorrow we close below it and then back test to 20. Who knows? But for now, the daily is gone from uh, down 1, 2 days in a row to balance, and then now maybe potentially stretch the balance, but we're going to call it balance to up. So sorry if that's a little confusing. Hopefully we're able to follow along. There's, like I said, if there's anything that I could potentially explain better, then please, ladies and gentlemen, uh, feel free to comment below and let me know what I can do better. Other than that, leave a like if you do enjoy the content. If not, then that's okay. I will continue to post this and try to become better myself. Um, that's going to be it for the evening, folks. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Uh, use your stops, keep them in. Don't have FOMO. Don't be hoping and wishing, because that leads you nowhere. I am out of here, ladies and gents. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.